Let's go.
AITA for telling my son's girlfriend to stay away from him because she is distracting him from his responsibilities. I, 50M, am a single father to my son, 15M. My then girlfriend got addicted to drugs and walked out shortly after he was born. She is no longer in our lives. My son has been making exceptional grades and he plays for his high school's baseball team. He is pretty good at that, though my opinion may be a little biased, lol anyway. That was until he started dating a girl, 17F. They met when they were assigned as partners on a project, and I guess they hit it off pretty fast because this came out of the blue for me when I picked him up one day and he just said, "Dad, I have a girlfriend now." I was proud and excited for him that my son was finally becoming a man. I also had a remedial version of the talk with him. Can never be too careful. They've been dating for the past few months and they seem very happy together. But my problem is that my son's grades have been slipping. He's been skipping out on chores at the house and missing practice or games. I'm not mad that he is dating. However, that should come after business, school, baseball, etc. So last week I told him that he is no longer allowed to spend time with her unless he gets his shit together. He responded, "But Dad, I really like this girl." I told him that doesn't matter. If you fail and flunk out of school, I don't want you seeing her, and that's final. He signed and said fine. I figured that was the end of it. Well, until yesterday when I come back home from the store, and I found them on the living room couch together. He lied to me and said he would have a friend over to study. My son froze like a deer in headlights. I told him to go to his room, and then I turned to his GF. Now I'll admit that I might have been a little stern, but I told her to get the hell out of my house and stay away from my son. He doesn't need this distraction, and if I ever catch you two together again, it won't be pretty for either of you. Then the waterworks started, and she stormed out. I go upstairs to my son, who was already on the phone, telling my mother and my sister his aunt and grandmother have always spoiled him. I take the phone and try to explain, but I get lectured for being too hard on him. He's just a boy, etc. I'm just trying to keep my son from ruining his life before it even starts. If he fixes his grades and everything, he can see her again. So I figured it'd be best to get an unbiased third-party opinion. Father? Edit. Okay, so first I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to give me this well-deserved, years-long overdue attitude adjustment. I was an asshole in this situation. While I was in the right to be worried about my son's academic performance and his responsibilities at home, I'll admit that I let my temper get the best of, and I acted on impulse with how I handled this situation. I shouldn't have yelled at that girl. After talking to my son, it turns out that he never told her that he wasn't allowed to see her. She didn't know, and I should have gone to my son instead of taking it out on her. Oh, my job plus the past trauma from my ex leaving are not stresses that I can self-manage anymore. I'm done lying to myself, and I will be looking into therapy soon. My son has invited her over for dinner later this week. I plan to apologize and explain the situation, and I'll try to work with them to have fair rules that will encourage my son to stop slacking off while also allowing him to spend time with her. You get more flies with honey and vinegar, and prohibition will only make my son lie and sneak around, which could lead him to doing dangerous/irresponsible things. I showed my son some of the comments and he's been laughing his ass off at everyone roasting me, LOL. I may post another update this week after dinner, if I remember. Thanks. Edit 2. Well, folks, my son just told via text that he spoke to her at school and she has accepted our dinner invitation for tomorrow. Expect another update. Edit 3. Hey folks, thanks for sticking around through this mess. All right, so let's get to it. So my son brought her over for dinner, and the first thing I did was apologize to her. Both for yelling and for telling her to leave, I emphasized that she was innocent in the situation and I shouldn't have reacted the way I did. She accepted my apology, and now I feel a little less like a monster, LOL. I also fully explained the situation with my son slacking off, and she was extremely understanding, and it turns out she's actually a pretty smart girl herself. Honor Society, 4.0, AP classes, etc. Turns out my son has been, well, downplaying to her just how bad he's been slacking off to her. She is actually willing to help me hold him accountable. She has a car, so she'll start taking him to baseball practice and his games. It actually makes it easier on me, and it means they'll be able to see each other more after school while ensuring he actually goes. Plus, he's more motivated to go if she is there supporting him. That, and she'll also start helping him study so he can get his grades back up. Again, they can spend time together outside of school, but he'll also get his homework done. She joked and said that his household chores were on him. She draws the line at his dirty underwear, LOL. However, my son did agree to start doing better at cleaning up after himself around the house. You know, it really is amazing what can happen when you express your concerns through a discussion instead of a lecture rant. It actually felt like my son was taking in and understanding what I was telling him instead of just get a load of this old man. And for some backstory about my son's GF, it turns out they use my house for their primary hangout spot because her parents don't like her relationship with him. Apparently, they were glad that my little outburst the other day scared her away, hopefully for good. I don't really know how to feel about that. I was half expecting an angry dad to be on my doorstep. Whatever happened from there would be 100% on me, LOL. Anyway, I also told them that they are welcome to hang out at the house anytime, within reason of course, as I don't want them sneaking around and getting in trouble. And if they ever need privacy, just let me know, not directly LOL, and I'll find a reason to be out of the house for a few hours, no questions asked. Just be safe and smart, and try not to make me a grandfather until my pension is firing on all cylinders. I'm really happy and proud of my son, and I'm glad that he's starting to experience love for the first time. Once his girlfriend left, I, half-jokingly, told him, "Don't screw this up. She really cares about you and had a heart to forgive my ass after what I did." Thanks to the fine people in this subreddit for the advice and the course correction. So all things considered, I think the situation is resolved and all is forgiven. Thanks, folks.